I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? It's a great day. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, I am so sorry for those people who have lost a lot of money in cryptocurrency. If today you've lost some money in cryptocurrency, do not take your life. This is just a tool. You can acquire the tool again. Don't worry about it. Push it off as a learning experience and keep your life on track. There are people out there that love you and need you, and we definitely don't want to see this happen. Any tragedies like this with cryptocurrency is not worth your life. So please, if you need help, don't forget to call the hotline for suicide and just have someone talk to you, okay? We love you and we don't want to see anything happen to you. And on the other end of this all, we're going to be talking about taxes and debt today. And I got my girl, Miss Neil Clinton, on the show. What's up, sister? How you doing?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be here. Always. I'm hanging and I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, anytime. So tell me, girl, we were talking about all this other stuff, financials and tax-free this and getting the write-off there and getting this. But today we're going to be talking about something totally different and something that most people are really in. Let's talk about that.
No worries. Before we begin, I do want to take about 2 minutes and I just want to set the tone. So I want to be very straightforward about this particular fact. And this is what I'm saying on the beginning of each of my interviews. So the Emancipation Proclamation of 1862 was issued to free our people. As reparations, we were promised the 40 acres and a mule. The land grant stretched from Charleston Island south to St. John's River and 30 miles inland. The ink wasn't even dry on the document when President Andrew Johnson revoked these land reparations and returned that land to the wealthy plantation owners who were the initial cause of the Civil War in the first place. So the land promised but never delivered would be worth in excess of $16 trillion today. But there is something that every African American in the nation should know about, embrace, and please spread the word about. This is a reparations juggernaut in the hands of African American Trust, and it will be the initial step in closing the income inequality gap that the federal government has been talking about for 200 years. So we have a set of reparations that we now control, and it's ours to use, and we need no permission to use them. I ask you to join with us today as we will close the income inequality gap. We will produce executive income for ourselves despite not having had the opportunity to attend the best business schools and be placed in a high corporate position because of our family names or connections. We will rewrite African American financial history. We will change the economic future for generations yet unborn. I ask you to take the following pledge and keep it in the canyons of your mind and say it silently every day to yourself. I will join in the spirit to pursue the vision of African American Trust as it will benefit me currently, my family members, and all with whom I share our African American ethnicity. That is the tone of AAT in a button right there. You push that button, that's who we are.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And you're so right. And I know that we're talking about reparations in California and how they're getting ready to distribute it. I'm thinking they're very close to doing that.
We also have another website, and it's actually called ourreparations.org. We again reiterate how everything that we're talking about right now not only is doable, it just simply needs to be implemented. So let's talk about those folks in California who would get the $250,000. So what could you do with $250,000? Of course, you can always go out and buy the things that are liabilities. But what's more importantly, and you and I talked about this earlier, Yaya, money is a tool. It is a tool to be used. That $250,000, if you don't reinvest it and spread it as though it were seed so that it can grow, so that it can sow and then grow more and bring more back in.
That's right.
It's useless. If you don't know how to control $100, you're certainly not going to know how to control 1,000. And if you don't have the execution and then execute what you've learned, you're no better off. And this is the education that is the foundation of what we need in order to be the place from which we jump off. Because if we continue to do what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that $250,000 can actually bring in your, it can incur interest, and you can be living off of that. And most people want to pay off their debts, and they want to pay off this because they have a lot of debt. But I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Because debt used correctly can be your friend.
There is good debt and bad debt. And that is, you are so key to understand that. When I try to explain that to people, they look at me like I'm crazy, or I have three heads. And I'm like, listen, if you have a card, you can use that card to charge that thing that's going to make you more money. And then you pay off the card, and that's a good return on your investment. That is good debt. Now, bad debt is continuing to put money on the card, not paying the minimum. So now you're paying to use your own money, which is what we've done for years. And again, definition of insanity, you've got to learn how to do something else differently. And then you can do the thing that's different. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So today I know we're going to be talking about debt. So good debt and bad debt. I mean, okay, so there are people out there that, especially right about COVID, that's all they had, so I understand that a lot of people now, and they were talking about this, have credit card debt because that's all that was available during COVID because nobody was working. So now everybody has to pay off the EIDL loans, the PPL loans. They got the credit card debts, the Visa, the MasterCard, the American Express. There's just debt everywhere you go right now. And so what can we do now that we're back in the okay economy? We're kind of like coming out of all of this, right? But what can we do now? Taxes are getting ready to come up. We got the debt that we needed to have. I mean, literally people were surviving on their credit cards for their food and stuff like that. But I understand that's not good debt, but we got to deal with it. So how do we deal with that now?
So, it's interesting. We have that debt, and now it's Christmas, and then people are going into more debt because they're buying things because it's the
Y'all ain't getting
holidays.
nothing. Y'all ain't getting nothing.
No,
Y'all ain't getting nothing.
You got me. We all good. There's only so many things that you can buy, and so many shoes and so many dresses and so many hats. Again, those are all liabilities. You look really good, but they're liabilities. So you've got Christmas debt. So now we are very close to the end of 2020, and now we're looking at walking into 2023. So the question is do you want to go into 2023 with additional debt, or would you like to go into 2023 knowing that you're going to get paid?
I'm gonna get paid.
So when we talk about getting paid, let's look at, again, the tax zero plan, which is, again, the $949 that you're going to spend, the one-time lifetime updates, you're done. And even that is a tax write-off for you. So for you people that are out there and you have those small businesses, and you have your 1099s, you're going into the new year, you spend the $949, which, by the way, is guaranteed. If we don't do what we say we're going to do, we will double your money back. So again, you still can't lose. And the fact that you bought it, it's a write-off. You'll be able to write that off. So it zeroes itself out, and it opens the door then for you to see what you can actually get back as far as your deductions are concerned. And now you're looking at, again, getting paid instead of running away and not wanting to pay your taxes, because now your taxes are going to pay you. So that money, that extra money, that up to 70% now new spendable income you have as a result of you knowing what was available to you by investing that $949, now you're going to get paid in the new year instead of going into the new year with additional debt. Not only that, you're going to be prepared now to really pay attention to your taxes and go get your money instead of always giving your money to the IRS, because they're banking on the fact that you don't know this. And at this point, they're winning. So the question is when do you want to get in the game? Because this is the time. It is the end of the year. You'll be able to write this whole thing off, and then you can go into the new year ready to get paid.
Yeah.
Playing the game, but now you understand the rules of engagement. Big difference.
Definitely, definitely big difference. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the debt that they're in, that interest that was accrued on their credit cards can be also written off.
Yep. Yep. You're
They don't know.
absolutely right.
They don't know.
You're
As long as you use it for a business purpose.
Anything that you use for a business purpose can be written off. Absolutely all of it.
Yep.
But if you don't know what they are within that 73,000 pages, again, of only which 522 are applicable to us.
Oh my gosh, 522 pages for reading. No, I don't think anybody wants to do that, darling. No.
Take about 13 years if you were reading it at 8 hours a day.
No.
Yeah. I know. I'd rather chew on cardboard. I know, because
no, exactly. No, that's no.
But I tell you what geeks me out. What geeks me out is when we have synthesized those 73,000 down, or those 1,200 volumes, and found the golden nugget. Now that's what really gets me up, and it makes me want to wake up and get after it. Because now, like I said, I'm not depending on anybody else. I've got my book that cross-references my stuff. So when my CPA says you can't do that, I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can. Here's why.
Right.
Because this code says I can write this off. And then and it's okay if you don't know that. That's really okay that you don't know it, because everybody doesn't know everything. But the key is that you're willing to learn.
Right, definitely. And now, I mean, ask you a question. I know a lot of people, you know, say the codes change throughout every year. We got new codes. Do you guys add the new codes as they come along?
Every year. Listen, my partner, Dr. Fran McGuire, I'm not sure if I shared this story with you or not, but he says he's one of those people. They could burn the entire codes. If they left embers and some pages that didn't get burnt, he could figure out the rest. This man actually reads the codes. He pays attention to every change. That's just his geekdom. That's just, everybody's got a superpower. That's his.
My superpower is fiber. You guys gotta check that out later, okay? We're not even gonna get into that. I'm just
that was such a nice inside joke. That was so nice. That was so
good, right?
Oh goodness.
That later.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
You got it.
Yes.
Okay. But no, all pun intended, you know, not all pun aside. It's like, you know, we have, how would I say this? We have regurgitated the fact that we can actually make money at the end of the year. So people are so scared of the IRS that they are running away from the IRS. And I know your motto is don't run away from them, run towards them.
That's right. That's right. And again, it's just a change in behavior. Right now, everybody looks at we've been taught, because we all, like I said, get that little palpitation when we see the letter from the IRS. And it's always wonderful. Like I got one, they were like, oh yeah, you overpaid. Thank you. I'll take my money. So it's, you know, when you, it's like the game of life. There are certain rules of engagement. Like we all know, we've all played rock, paper, scissors, right? We all understand that if I'm going to walk off the curb and an 18-wheeler is coming, physics says I ain't going to win. That's just the rule of law. That's the game of life and how we play it. So when we look at these taxes, instead of paying into them, once you know what you can write off, you love taxes, because that's your money. That's your bank. That's who is financing your own deal. And once you allow yourself, and you know, we do this, and it can be scary for people to work for themselves. I didn't say go quit your job, you know, have a side hustle to support you until they can pay for what you want. And I'll tell you something, ain't nothing better than having that job with a comma check. And everybody says, like, what's a comma check? It's like, that's the commas that come after the zeros. The comma check.
Hello. I love comma checks.
Love comma checks.
Comma check. It takes a long time to get a comma check. It's not something that, oh, I see all these videos on YouTube, right? Oh, you can start making $1,000 this week. I just look at them like, why y'all telling people that? Do you realize how hard it is to make $1,000 this week? I mean, you might put in $1,000 worth of work this week, but you definitely not gonna get the return of $1,000. But even that work that you put in, that area in your home that you use to put the work in is a write-off.
Yes, it is.
That's where you can make your $1,000.
Yep. Well, it's that, and imagine that times 50 different other write-offs. That's
Mhm.
when it starts to grow and exponentialize, because now your pennies have turned into nickels, into dimes, and the quarters, and the dollars, because it's a cumulative thing. It's not just one piece. And that's where the IRS has been calculating. They calculated, and then they built that persona that makes you afraid. All I'm saying is you got to remember David and Goliath. David was kind of small, but he knew where to hit him.
Mhm.
And that's what took him out.
That's right.
And that's where we are. David had to work to get to that point where he knew how to work that rock and
Mm.
take down Goliath. We're in the same position. You don't know what you don't know, but once you learn it and it is integral in who you are, and you've said, hey, I did what you said do. And this right here, this particular code is what you said I could do. End of
Mhm.
story. There's nothing more to talk about.
That's
You
right.
didn't make it up. You took their tools and you beat them at their own game.
That's right. That's right. I mean, so okay, so I know that you were saying, and we talked about this, that nobody really likes to pay taxes anyway.
Not, no, I
I
mean,
mean,
if you know that person, I say, okay, well, then we've had a very short conversation, because yeah, you're not my market. You're not my people.
mm-mm. And inflation is a gift. Explain that to me.
Oh, I love this one. So when we talk about inflation, we always imagine that it's the creeping up. It's the gas, it's the food, it's electricity, it's the utilities, it's medicine. Those things, if you look at what you spent this time last year and the year before that and the year before that, right now they cost much more than they did a couple of years ago. And next year, they're probably going to cost even more. The reason why inflation is a gift for us is because when you use the tax zero plan, you can understand that I imagine that right after the first of the year, gas is going to go back up again. It's
Yeah.
pretty low right now, but I imagine it's gonna top again. When those things start to come into play, the medicines, the food, the gas, the car, the insurance, none of that is going to affect you, because you know what write-offs are available to you in the tax zero plan, so that you're getting your money back, because you get to use those things to
Yeah.
your advantage based on these codes.
Mm.
So that's why it's a gift. When everybody else is struggling, by virtue of your using what we've given you, next year you're going to have more spendable income by about 70%.
Hmm.
So inflation is a gift to us. They can continue to do whatever it is they do. That's not a problem, because will be the things that we'll be able to write off.
I love it. I love it. Debt. Debt is a big thing. I mean, okay. I wanted to ask you this question because this is a big question for me. At the end of every year, when I get my money back, because I get money back. Hello, I get money back. Hi, I get money back. Anyway, so I get my money back. A lot of times I take a portion of that and I invest it.
Mhm.
What should we be doing with that money when we get it back? Because I mean, literally, most people just give it to their debtor and then they're still in debt. But getting out of debt is a tricky way and a tricky strategy. What should we do with that money?
I would tell you to take that money, and you and I have talked about this before too. So the tax zero plan is a great foundation to get you the money back. And it is my hope and my desire that after you have the confidence in the foundation and you've experienced the benefits of the tax zero plan, let's say that money that you get back, then we can look at the trust creation business, which is a business at this time that is really unparalleled. And it's not within our community. Trust creation, we offer it's an online platform. It is e-learning. You completely can do the course at your own pace. I am an A personality. I actually did the course over the weekend. I literally went in my office and shut myself in and, just used the bathroom, drank coffee, but that's my personality. It's a lot to digest. I would advise it, but the more I read, the more my brain started popping. And you can always email Dr. Fran and he'll answer the questions, or ignoring him, I'll probably push him over to me now, but we'll see. But I literally emailed him like all weekend, like, what is this? So I don't understand what are they saying here? And once you understand the concept of trust and trust creation, your life will change in a way that's unimaginable to you. And I sincerely mean that. So for those people who happen to get the extra money back and you want to invest in yourself and invest in an education and then create another stream of income that not only helps you, but helps other people, which is the same thing that the tax zero plan does, but it's easier to digest. But if you got that extra money back, I would say go to our trust creation plan, the African American trust creation plan, and take that course, because, and Yaya, you and I talked about this before too. So Medicaid is it is a federal program that is state administered. What a lot of us don't understand is that in some states, if your loved one was in a nursing home and they passed away and there are still outstanding funds, by law, they can come back and take that family home and sell that family home to shore up whatever debts are there.
That's right.
So for us within our community, a home is normally the biggest investment we make. And that home, you would hope, is going to stay in the family and pass through generations. But for those of us who don't know about a Medicaid trust that we provide, that they could never touch your home. Mm-hmm. Or let's say if you have a family member who is already on state assistance and something happens to their caregiver, what you never want to happen is for there to be an interruption of their benefits. We also have already made a trust for that as well, a special needs trust. Or let's say we want to have 100-year bank where the beneficiaries of those funds will not pay taxes on this money for 100 years as it generates, and they live off of the interest.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So trust creations is the other part of what we're building for African American trust within our community to create our own monies. So yeah, I would tell you with everything that I have, with every breath that's in my body, to start with a tax zero plan to generate the 70% spendable income that you will have in the following year, to then say, hey, this is amazing. Now I want to grow a little bit more. And now I want to create trust.
Right. Wow. Wow. We're going to have to talk about that another time. I mean, we can't put all of this in one. This is not possible.
No, you can't.
This is not possible. But what the biggest thing I want to say is being in debt is not a bad thing. It just means that, a lot of people are in debt and they think it's horrible, especially with this crash today with the the cryptocurrency. A lot of people are in debt. A lot of people are going down like they think that there's no hope. But there is always hope, especially when your taxes are due at the end of the year and you put that in as a loss. Am I right?
Are you right or are you right? You're right.
I know I was right. What?
You're right. You're right.
I know I was right. So whatever you got in there, it's a loss, baby. That's a loss. That's a loss. And it counts for your credit on your taxes.
Yes, it pays you to lose.
It does. It really does. And like I said in the beginning, we don't want to see anybody, take their lives over this tool called money. But at the same time, we need that tool. If you don't like paying taxes, or you think that you haven't been taking full advantage of all the tax codes and laws, how can these people reach you, Miss Neil Clinton?
Please go to my Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's called African American Trust. You can page me there. I'm sorry, you can fill out the form there. You can go to africanamericantrust.us. You can contact me there.
Wait a minute, she said page. Did you say page? Girl, where you at? You talking about page. You can page me.
Listen. We have gotten tremendous response from people filling out our form, because we're running ads on Facebook. And TikTok is starting to take off. So people are starting to reach out. Look for Beverly Neil Clinton, look for African American Trust. It's funny, I want to share this really quick story with you.
I'm still on the paging part. That was in the 90s when your beeper went off.
Girl, look.
Me.
Listen, it has been a morning. I have been running around like a crazy woman. So but page your beeper, Go to africanamericantrust.com, fill out the contact form there, go to my Facebook page, fill out the contact form there.
Definitely.
But I spoke with a guy the other day, and it was really interesting, because he said, I have a problem with the name African American Trust. And I said, well, what's the problem? He said, well, I'm a Moors. And I said, listen, when I came up with the name for African American Trust, it was twofold. One, it is to build trust within our own community. And two, it is to build trust outside of our community. But let me get this, let me make sure we're straight. It is first to build within our community. I am coming to us first. And then once we build that strong foundation, then we can go outside. Now, having said that, a lot of people say, whoa, so it's just for African Americans. And I'm like, no, I just explained that this is a handshake. And furthermore, the very first person who signed up for my trust creation course was a white woman, because she understood the concept.
That's right.
So, once you understand the concept,
doesn't matter what the name is. It's the same law.
There you go.
It's the same
Doesn't
law.
matter what the name is. That's it.
That's it. You want to be a part of it? Let's do it. Yep. You want to save money? Let's do it.
Want to make money? Let's do it.
That's right. Just go ahead and go to the link in the description box below and fill out that form and get in contact with Ms. Neil Clinton, and she will definitely make sure that you are well taken care of, especially since tax season is coming up really soon, guys. You got to jump on the bandwagon, and no, there are no pagers for you to use. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. Yes, I'm dating myself. Yes, I'm totally dating.
Okay, I dated myself too, because I remember that. I had one. Okay, hello. You're like, oh, look who's calling me.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to go have my fiber. That's it.
Yes, go have your fiber, and I will go have mine, and we will leave you here with the fact is that if you haven't been getting money back, if you haven't been taking advantage of all the tax codes, you're going to need to do that. And you're going to need to get in contact with Miss Beverly Neil Clinton today. The link is in the description box below for Zero Tax. Guys, we love you and thank you for tuning in. And the next time we come back, we will be talking about trust. So you don't want to miss that. And until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to dare to be different.